Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about common financial mistakes people make and how you can try to avoid them. So I have 4 common mistakes that I'm going to go over today, and each of them has a few steps that you can try to basically organize and follow so that you can create some sort of financial success for yourself. They're pretty basic and simplified right now, and hopefully in future videos I'll be able to take a deeper dive into each of these 4 common mistakes that people make. Mistake number 1 is not creating a budget. I know it might seem surprisingly simple, but a lot of people overlook this first mistake. When you don't have a budget, it makes it so much easier to overspend every single month. So I know a lot of people who live kind of in the moment. It's like, I know my salary is a good salary. I make enough money every month. I pay my bills and I end up with a little extra money some months. Maybe some months I just break even, but that's good enough for me. So like I said, this is a really wrong way to live if you're trying to create some financial freedom for yourself in the future, or basically plan for the future with your financials. So being able to create that budget plan makes it so much easier to understand what type of goals you can set for yourself and what goals might be more achievable for yourself. A budget's a plan for how you'll spend your money. It helps you understand your financial situation, set goals, and make sure you have enough money to cover your expenses. Step 1 is to gather up all of your financial information. So that includes things like your income, your bills, and any other expenses specific to you and your lifestyle. Step 2, create a list of your fixed expenses. So when I say fixed expenses, I'm talking about things like your rent, your car payments, your insurance, your phone bill, any other monthly subscriptions that you have. That's just to name a few. So, if you have Disney Plus or Netflix or something like that, and every month you're paying a certain amount of money for that, that needs to be part of your fixed expenses. Step number 3, create a list of your variable expenses. So when I say variable, I'm referring to things like gas, groceries, expenses for eating out, basically payments that can vary each month. When you're starting out, you'll most likely have to take your best guess and make adjustments every month as you go, because obviously, you might not eat out the same amount every month. You might not drive the same amount every month. Gas prices even themselves are fluctuating all the time. So take your best guess and go from there. Step 4, take all of your fixed and variable expenses and add them up. So that's your total monthly expense. Step 5, now all you do is simply subtract your total monthly expenses from your monthly income, and now you know how much money you have left at the end of every month. Step 6, so you're not done yet. So this is the fun part. This is the part where you set financial goals for yourself. This could mean saving up for a vacation, paying off debt, or building an emergency fund. So I know for myself personally, for example, every month I'll put aside $50 to $100 for a vacation fund. I don't just splurge on vacations anytime I feel like it. I basically save up, and then when I want to go on vacation, I do it guilt-free. You'll have to review your budget regularly to make sure that you're sticking to it, and then make adjustments along the way. So to things like your variable expenses and even your fixed expenses. So you might have a monthly subscription that you cancel. You might make a new phone plan or something like that. And these expenses could change on a monthly basis. So make sure that you just stay on top of it. Mistake number 2. So this is not paying off your credit cards in full. My dad taught me this very early on. He got me my very first credit card when I was very young. It was when I had my first job, I think when I was like 14 or 15. It was a credit card that was linked to his. So basically he was the one that controlled like how much I spent, or he saw how much I spent so that he could like tell me to stop spending so much. But basically he told me, don't spend money that you don't have. So the idea of a credit card for me growing up was kind of like, it was just to build credit essentially with the bank, so that, when I needed a mortgage or something like that, or to rent, a car, or to buy a car or something like that, or loan money to buy a car, I had built up my credit in that way. So for me, it was like, I only spent money, and then at the end of every month, I was paying it off because I knew I had the money. I never spent money on a credit card, not knowing that I could pay it off at the end of that month. So there are 2 reasons why you should try your very best to pay off your credit card debt at the end of every month in full. Number 1 is because the interest rates are insanely high on credit card debt. So if you're only paying part of it or a small amount of it at the end of every month, and the other part is basically carrying over, you're paying a lot of additional money on that borrowed money. So just be careful of that. Try your best to only spend money on a credit card that you know you have, or that you're gonna have before the end of the billing cycle. Number two is it damages your credit score. So if you're constantly borrowing money from your credit card and not paying it back in full at the end of every month, this is going to bring your credit score down, making it more and more difficult to lend money from the bank or from other lenders. You know, when it comes time to like buy a house or lease a car or buy a car or something like that, it's going to make it that much more difficult. It's important to make sure you're paying off your credit card balances in full each month, or at the very least, try to pay at least a little bit more than the minimum payment. Mistake number three, that's not saving up for retirement. I can't stress this enough, but a lot of people are not looking into the future. Like I said, a lot of people are living for today and that's it. And I don't know about you, but have you ever sat down and wondered how much money it would actually take to retire, even at 65 years old, let's say? When I sat down and actually started to crunch the numbers, like it was terrifying, honestly. You need to sit there and think about what your monthly expenses are, even if, let's say in 25 years, my mortgage is fully paid off and my only expenses are, you know, my phone bills and some of the other fixed expenses that I have, like, Netflix and my Peloton subscription and some of the other little things that I have. It adds up. And honestly, I probably won't be able to live for many years after retiring. So you need to plan way, way ahead and as early as possible for retirement. If that means investing, little by little, or, putting a little bit of money aside every month so that you can basically start to plan for your future, it's the best thing that you can do for yourself right now. Mistake number 4 is not having an emergency fund. This is terrifying for me because a few years back, I had no idea that this was even a thing that people did. The general rule of thumb is you need 3 to 6 months times your monthly expenses. That's your emergency fund. So that's not even like your savings for the future and your goal setting money and all that stuff. This is just your emergency fund for a rainy day because you have no idea what's going to happen to the market, what's going to happen to your job. I mean, some people do have job security, but you never know. You can't predict what is going to happen in the future to the housing market or to anything else. It's so, so important to have an emergency plan set up. By avoiding these common financial mistakes, you can set yourself up for financial success. Remember, create a budget, pay off your credit card balances in full, save for retirement, and make sure that you have an emergency fund in place. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on managing your finances. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope I get to see you again soon. Bye.